So now we would like to learn about architectural styles and patterns. Already we have learned architectural patterns in previous classes. Architectural pattern in the sense it's a description of a element. And why are we discussing that elements description in this particular concept itself? Okay, so this architectural pattern is now once again we are learning with the styles. So because of the below purposes. First one is an architectural pattern is determined by a set of element types. So set of elements types in the sense the element whichever we have developed or designed, that is either data repository part, or otherwise it's a completely a component which may perform mathematical functions. Okay, so what is element here? The element in the sense it's a single module, okay, or otherwise it's a collection of module. And in other way, okay, element in the sense here we call it as it is either a client or either server. So client and servers individually we may call them as components. So server is one component and the client is one component. Here the server components acts as like a data repository. Okay, client always requesting for data. So whenever we need that particular data. Okay, so this is a one architecture. So why are we discussing once again this concept means, so whenever we are going to okay implement a coding, so that coding part will be related to either single element or it's related to a component. Okay, how they are working, so what are the styles, how we are designing that coding concepts. Okay, so and in which way we are designing that particular particular coding or software for a particular project. Okay, for this kind of purpose we are again knowing about the reading about the patterns. Coming to the second point, so architectural pattern is a topological layout of the element indicating their interrelationships. So here why are we using a topologies? If you want to connect one system to another system in a network, then we are going to use the topologies. So in CN generally there are different kinds of topologies are there to connect one system with another system. What are those? It may be a bus topology, ring topology, mesh topology, like that. Okay, here also to connect each and every module, okay, of a project, okay, we can implement one topology. Okay, that topology is based on the okay that particular project. So and relationship between the modules. Based on that, we are implementing a topology in between each and every module. Clear? Coming to the third point, a set of semantic constraints. What is set of semantic constraints here? So while developing or designing a project, there is a need of filtering and controlling of data with some constraints in between the modules. Okay, after developing a module, there is a need to transfer the data from one module to another module. In such a cases, okay, we should develop that transferring, okay, transferring of data between two modules with some constraints. So that is about the third point. And in the topic, what is the architectural style? Architectural style is a very specific solution to a particular software which typically focuses on how to organize the code created for the software. Okay, now after designing phase we are going to do a implementation phase. In that implementation phase, okay, we are developing a software code. While developing the software code, okay, there are different type of styles are there. Okay, that is based on a project. So, in which style we are going to implement our project code? Okay, that is called a architectural style. What is architectural style here? The development of code should be, okay, in which manner? So, I mean, is it a what a server and client architecture? How to develop the code for that client and architecture type of project, and it is a single standalone project. Okay, when which process or which style we can select for that one. So like that, we are going to, okay, implement a different styles, okay, for a project. So this is called a architectural style. It is a very specific solution to a particular software which typically focuses on how to organize the code, okay, how to develop the code for our given project or software. And see the next point here, it is the granularity of highest level that focuses on creating the layers and modules of softwares and allowing an appropriate interaction between the various modules for giving the right results upon implementation. So while developing a code also, there is a different parts, different actions in our project, isn't it? So each and every module, okay, should be designed or coded for particular purpose, isn't it? So the total modules can be divided into the total project can be divided into the modules, and each and every module can be have some different type of, or I mean, it may accept different type of codings, or maybe same single coding. Okay, there is a according to a particular function of that module, the developer will develop a code. Okay, and he will give the input and he may get the output according to the function of that module. So the total project will be divided into modules, and according to the modules we are developing the code, and finally we will get some output. So this total process, the dividing of project into modules, or dividing the total project into the components, this total process has some styles. Now we are going to discuss about styles of that projects. Those are, first one is data centric style, second one is object oriented one, and coming to the third one is layered architectural patterns. Clear? Actually, in real time, there are three types of architectural styles are available for creation of a software coding. Those are data centric, object oriented, and layered architectural patterns. Yes. Coming to the first one, data centric style. In this data centric style, as the name suggests, the data centric architecture style has centralized data that is used by various components of the software, and these components access the data repositories of the software. Which means in data centric style, first of all, there is a repository for storing the overall data. Okay, there is a place to store the data that place is also called as a repository. So whenever that particular data is needed by someone, okay, so that particular person is also called as a client. The client may access that data of repository. Okay, this kind of style is also called as client and server architecture. Okay, server means one data repository, data storing area. So whenever the multiple number of clients wants to access that particular data, they can access. That's why we call it as data in the at the place of center. So that's why this name is called data centric style. Okay, there is a centralized data which is accessed by a multiple number of clients when they are in need. Clear? And one more example for this data centric style, DBMS, I mean database management systems. In this database, okay, for each and every in general cases, each and every organization has their own database. Okay, so for example, if you will take the bank, okay, one bank may have a server. So whenever the data is, whenever the customer go to a bank, so total data is accessed by a bank employee from that server itself. So each and every system of a bank may call some clients whenever they are in need of accessing of servers. Okay, they'll request they'll request for a transaction, okay, of that particular server of that bank. Accordingly, it will give the results to them. Okay, so which means deposit, I mean customer details, depositing amount into that particular bank, and withdrawing some amounts from that banks, and other applications also. It will support other applications also, which means applying a loan in that bank. Okay, and like that, if the bank has different transactions, okay, each and every transaction information should be stored by that particular bank server. So any of the person, okay, may access that server. I mean each and every bank employee may access that server easily. Okay, I mean to store the data, to update the customer's data each and every time. At the end of the day, they will completely update the server information, and okay, they'll sign out from there. This is the accessing of the, I mean, one server information from different clients. Okay, not only that, if we want to access our information, not, I mean, we are requesting to perform an transaction operation from our mobiles also, it is possible. Why? Because we are also acting as a client whenever we are in need of I mean our account details, or if we want to transfer some amount from our account to, okay, a Paytm, okay, it's possible. And also some other I mean some other I mean Paytm or some other like that apps also, we can transfer the data easily. So because we are acting as a, I mean that people will give the accessing to the users also by giving some passwords and some I mean user IDs and passwords. Okay, by using some login credentials, we are also requesting the data of that bank servers. Clear? So that is the one of the example for data centric style of, okay,
Hmm?